Hey, today we're going to talk about the major difference between torso and shoulders. Hey, one of the things I've really enjoyed about instructing, and it's a part of why I believe you need to measure things, is to validate what's actually happening. So many things you see in the swing and that people teach you is not part of reality when it comes to movement. Now, do you have to know every little bitty detail about biomechanics and the things that goes on in the swing? Not really. I like to know it because I like to be able to equate things that are happening in the motion versus things that are actually happening in the motion to know the difference between the two. And one of those things that has been very interesting for me to understand is a big difference between what the torso is up to in the swing. That's this part of your body, your thoracic part, your shoulder blades, which is this unit inside your body that's rotating. That's one thing. But then you have the shoulders, which is the front of the arms. So you have the torso moving, and then you have this independent motion of the arms. And what's interesting about it, I can stand here without moving my thoracic part of my body. So I'll do my best. I always say this, and there's always a little bit of movement. But I cannot move the thoracic part of my body, and watch how much movement I can make in my arms. I can make a majority of the movement of my arm, just using my arms and shoulders without moving my body at all. Look how much club movement I get. So a majority of the movement of the body is with the arms and shoulders and this joint that's occurring here, where I can move the front of the arms and bend the arms into this movement. And I think people get a lot of confusion in this because they're thinking, well, I got to wind this whole body up, when a majority of the motion that's occurring is from the hands and the arms and what's happening right here at the top of the shoulder. Now, if you combine that with the actual movement of the body, you get a torso rotation, and then you get this arm, hands, and shoulder movement to the top. So that additional motion is pelvis and torso rotation. So it's important because we want to stabilize this major speed-producing combination of hands, arms, and club. So what's really happening, if you look at this biomechanically, is the body is not really producing that much speed. It's this combination of hands, arms, and shoulders that are producing a majority of the speed, right? That's producing a lot of the speed. And then we're stabilizing it as we turn. Having said that, without stability, if you don't stabilize this, you can't really produce much speed with this. So a lot of people get confused and saying, well, the body's producing the speed. The body is allowing the rest of the body to use the speed it has. And I always tell people, you have more speed inside of you than you're giving yourself credit for. You're just not able to stabilize it. So, having said that, we must understand the huge difference between this torso movement, which is not very much, versus this really large range of arm and shoulder movement. Now, let's just go into a little bit of what we want to see happen. What I want to see is enough torso rotation to get the arms to make their full range. I want to stabilize the body, and I want to get enough rotation out of the torso to let the arms accelerate past the ball. And that's what I described right there in that motion is really the sequence of events of the swing as well. Let me do it in slow motion so you see it. And so what you want to see in a golf swing is you want to see everything move together. That's torso, pelvis rotation, and the arms are moving with it, and shoulders. And then you see mostly arm and hand movement as I go. There's only about 20 degrees of torso rotation there. Then you see a stabilization. Then you see everything rotate. The arms are being pulled. And then about right here, you see an acceleration of mostly arms. Now, as I approach impact, here's what you see. And this is why, from this down the line angle, you will see an open body position, but it almost looks as if the shoulders are square, and you want to see almost a square shoulder look at impact. So what you're seeing is a rotation of the body with an impact where the shoulders are pretty square. But the body is still way open. Matter of fact, it's about 25 to 30 degrees open at impact at that moment. So we must open the body, open the rotation to allow the arms to then square up the club. And here's where it gets really important, is how this arm squares. When I did a lot of the 3D measurements with people, what I would find, and this may be you, I would find a lack of torso rotation. Now, That's why the face stays open, because people, they get under rotated here, and then basically when I'm bringing the club down, I can't square the face. So what happens is I release early to square the face. And what happens, and this is where I would have some discussions with other instructors saying, look, you can't fix a release early. If I release the club early, maybe you're one of those guys that slices it and releases early, you cannot fix a release early if you don't fix torso rotation. If you don't fix this rotation, you can't square a face. So in other words, it's chicken or the egg. Are you trying to square a face, or are you trying to get the body in a position to square a face? And my recommendation is that you take the swing and you make sure you get the torso in an open enough position to then square a face. So you must get torso position, and side bend is a part of that, right? Side bend allows you to open. If you go this way, you can't rotate the torso open. So let me just hit a ball here, and I want you to, I'm gonna go 60% speed, and I just want you to see how the torso is opening up as I square the face. So it's very important to understand the difference between torso and then shoulders being square, and that's how the club squares up. So that's your kind of your lesson for the day, is know the difference between this and your arm position. The shoulders should look relatively square, but that's telling me the torso's been open, and that should square the face for you. Hope you're enjoying this content. Give me a thumbs up, click the bell icon, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next video.